Welcome everyone to the Southwick Board of Appeals meeting on July 22nd. This meeting is a hybrid and it's being video recorded and audio recorded. Will be available on the website over the next several days. We have to review some paperwork and some minutes in the first in attendance tonight, we have Dan Tobias, Paul Gregoire, Chris Mastriani, and Wendy Cordiero. Absent are William Liss and Mike Parent. We have to do a little bit of paperwork. First public hearing is at 7:05, and we should be able to keep that on schedule.
Last already, yeah.
Want to grab that mouse or?
Okay, the minutes. Did you read them yet?
I've used them, it's not live after yet.
Okay,
Did you start the meeting on you?
Pardon?
Did you start the meeting on you?
yes,
The meeting started, I don't think the hour's on.
that's on.
I know.
The city lights.
Just don't plug it in.
Lights are on here now.
Oh, yeah. That good? Are we on the screen? No. I'm not seeing.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's the point.
I think he's going to get a grid or something. Participants.
Oh, just not.
All right. That's fine. So,
There we go.
we have a motion to accept the meeting minutes.
Second.
Second, All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we accept the meeting minutes from July 8th. You want me to sign this one?
No, no, I'm sorry, here. Different kind of safety. Put your signature
Sign
at the
what?
bottom of that blank sheet, I'll just print this.
Okay. That. Okay. First public hearing is for 3 George Loomis Road. I'll read the public hearing notice to get this officially started. Please find below the legal notice for the following hearing for publication in the Westfield News from the Board of Appeals, Town of Southwick, published on July 8th and July 15th. Notice hereby given of a public hearing to be held Monday, July 22nd at 7:05 PM to hear the petition of Ben Lishanis for property located at 3 George Loomis Road, Southwick, Mass. The applicant is seeking a front setback variance of 5 feet from George Loomis Road and a front setback variance of 5 feet from North Loomis Road in order to rebuild a house that was destroyed by fire. This will be a hybrid meeting in person and via Zoom. So is the applicant here and want to come and explain things to us, please?
So we're not exactly sure where the 5 feet came in, but that might have been my builder. Putting the 5 feet in, but the reason I'm applying for a variance is because a year, well, 4/24/23, I put a brand new septic in,
What's your name?
Benjamin.
Oh, so you're,
Yeah,
are you Ben?
yeah,
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
think I got it on the phone. too.
yeah,
Okay,
so,
all right. Go ahead.
I want to pull the foundation out because it's got huge cracks in it. Obviously been through a fire, you know, who wants to build a brand new home off of a, old foundation? That's basically why I'm applying for a variance, because I don't have the 75 feet.
Right. So but you're putting, you're not putting it on the old foundation.
I don't want to, I would prefer not to.
And but you're gonna be, the old house was a lot closer to the street
It's
than,
40 feet off the road,
okay,
so I set the septic back 30 feet from the house. The existing house now in plans for an addition. So I have 20 feet, I can move it back. You know, because you gotta be 10 feet away from the fence.
okay,
So that's my goal, is to go back 20 feet, rebuild the house as close to the septic as I can.
right, so, okay, so that puts you at the 70 feet from
I think 60 feet.
60 feet.
I also in front of my house have like an 8-foot gravel path. That's not my grass, but it's not also not road. So there's also an additional 8 feet but it's not my
Okay.
properties.
Okay. And then you also have to, because you're on a corner, you have to meet the setback to North Loomis.
Yeah,
How far will you be from there?
I believe it's about 60 feet
Okay,
on that side. I'd be away.
so kind of where,
I actually have a whole driveway that goes in between that side of the house and the road.
okay, so the old house was about 40 feet and about 60
I
feet.
think
Kind
it's, yeah, roughly.
kind of what
I never
measured
walked
it
that
off on map. And so the new one, you're gonna be about 60 and 60, so you're gonna be. back-
Yeah, it depends where I go for the house. I don't actually know. I don't have a floor plan because it's kind of dependent whether or not I get this variance or not.
Okay,
You don't know if it's the same square footage or not.
Oh, I would probably do more square footage, to be honest with you. A little larger house. Nothing astronomical. I would say maybe 600, 700 square feet bigger.
It would have been good if you'd have brought some kind of a plan along showing that.
Yeah, I didn't wanna pay for plans to be done until I knew if I was gonna get a variance. Put it this way, I'm not going any closer,
Pencil.
oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not going any closer to the road, I'm gonna go as far back as, to the septic as I can. I will be further back than that house was.
What does that leave you back here?
Oh, there's,
I have like 6 acres, 6.4,
Yeah.
so,
Yes, it's okay.
yeah, it's, I don't know if I printed out that, but full size, but you got, yeah, you got
yeah, I
all
got
kinds of stuff.
plenty of,
Yeah,
plenty
all
of
kinds of
that,
stuff back
yeah.
there. Okay, because when we talked on the phone, I think you said you would be 70 and 70, but maybe took a little more careful measurement.
Yeah, I don't think I would have 70, cause of where this, cause I mean, I could have 70, but then I'd be right on the tank, you know what I mean, and I know you
Right.
need 10 feet between the tank and the house.
Okay,
So where is that leach field on here?
It's behind the house, so
How close? I mean,
I set it back 30 feet, so you need 10 feet from it, so I set it, so it's basically 20 feet to
I
play.
had sent this and said was about 90 feet.
This was my builder who sent this.
This, said
Yeah,
this,
Yeah,
okay.
that might have been who you talked to on the phone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was,
Jordan,
Jordan.
yeah,
so you're saying there's 40 feet that you
there's,
have to be 10 feet from, so
there's
there's
30 feet between the house now and the actual tank. So that was accounting for an 18-foot addition off the back of the house.
So you can move up to 30 feet back, yeah,
20,
20,
because I gotta be 10 feet away from the tank.
yeah. The tank is 30 away from the old foundation right now,
Correct.
so he can go back 20 from the old foundation.
Is my goal is to be as close to that septic as I can. I don't wanna be anywhere near the road, especially being on the corner.
so how much room will we have if we do that?
We 60. 60 and 60.
And that's as far as you can go based on the tank, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's if I were to do that with the house, you know, I think right now we have a 38-foot deep house plan, in our minds, you know, there's nothing set in stone, basically. So just say that would put me. Where would that put me? That would take away, so I'd be, no, that'd put me too close to the road then, so we'd probably have to thin that out.
If you had all the room in the back, why didn't you move the septic further even?
I wasn't planning on the house burning and having to tear it down.
I don't understand that.
Please. So I only planned for a small addition off the back when I did the septic prior.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
So-
cause I bought the house off my grandmother, she's actually here, she owned it for 55 years, so. None of this was in the plan.
Yeah, I can
Probably
imagine.
not.
Okay, so if you. This says 92, so you got 10, so that makes it 82, and you're gonna make your house 30 feet,
Yeah,
you saying?
30, 35, probably,
Yeah, and then so now you're down, now you're down to 52 though.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
So you're getting a little tight in there. I know if the building was 40, so you're improving on that.
Yeah. I mean, if I could just get a variance for where the old house is and back, and I won't exceed that. That would be fine with me, you know. I'll most likely be further back, but I don't have a plan right now, you know.
So we're looking at 60 feet. So your variance request is for 15, right?
And 15 here and 15 here. Because it's a corner.
Yeah.
So you need 75
Yeah,
feet
what
off the
about, what
side.
do you got here?
Oh, there's
53,
plenty,
yeah,
there's plenty
50.
on that. On
Yeah,
that side,
54 feet.
yeah. Yeah, there's plenty on that side. I didn't record it, but it's so
Yeah.
much,
Wait, we're gonna-
everything else except these two is in compliance.
So if we shift it a little bit, you can get your 75 here.
Mm. Yeah,
You're making sense.
is there any reason you can't go this way? I know,
Oh, I can a little bit, just put me closer to the neighbor, but. There's also a telephone pole I really didn't desire to have in right directly in front of the house, but.
That's why they make chainsaws.
yeah, that's 1 inch is 32 feet, so you're about yeah, you're about 70 to 80 feet from here, from this side. So if you wanted to center it, do a little bit more.
How close is that guy?
I don't know what that is, like the garage, but
If it's a shed,
That on his side, that is his garage,
okay. So this,
that is a garage there?
yeah,
well, that's it's about 4 to 6 feet.
yeah, he's pretty close to the property line for
So
sure.
this is 32, 64 and 3/8. So it's about 75 feet from here.
I wouldn't mind shifting it over a little bit, that wouldn't be a problem with me, you know,
Okay.
I'd obviously have to do some measuring, but.
Well, I'm gonna suggest we make this 70 and make this 60. But he has room.
There's a 70 here, so
So it'll be a 5 here and a
5 here,
15,
it's
and a 15 here.
this way.
Yeah. I think, Dan, what's your opinion?
This is real quick.
So we're suggesting that,
His side is gonna be what?
70.
yeah,
70, okay.
so that'll be a 5-foot variance on North Loomis and a 15-foot variance on George Loomis.
Okay. And what was the original request for the
It was
frontage?
originally 40 from here and,
What was the request?
oh, the request, well, I talked to the builder and he said it was 5 and he said the variances were 5 and 5, but I think that he might not have looked
Okay.
at it
So give
correctly.
15 in front.
Yeah, 15 on the front, which is farther, 15 is farther away than the old house.
Do we do 20 on the front? That way I could do a little deeper house. And then sacrifice the side a little bit.
20.
Yeah,
Variance of 20?
yeah.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, I think you're gonna have to. Do you know where the septic is this way?
It's
Approximately,
more like this way, basically. It goes out towards the driveway here.
okay,
So basically it goes kind of straight that way.
well, where this,
Yeah,
where your restriction is it like in the middle of where the old house was?
so this would be the old house and the tank straight off.
Okay,
This is a living room that was added on to the house, so. It was, yeah, it's basically in the center, I would assume, if not, maybe favors when you're looking at the road from a little to the left.
yeah, I'm gonna complicate this by tossing this out, but you only have to be 20 feet from this side. So I don't know if by pushing the house farther this way, you can move it back this way and avoid where the septic is. Sound like a possibility or,
Yeah, it's something I can look into for sure.
So
Like I
that
said,
image-
I'm
that
just
image is
making
of the
it-
old house.
This was the as-built of the septic. That's why I brought it, just so we could have reference to where the septic was.
Mhm. So this is. Yeah, I'm having trouble understanding this. So this is,
That's the old house.
that's the old house. So
Yeah.
George Loomis is
Yeah,
right here.
correct.
Okay, and the North Loomis is over here.
Oh, this is my driveway.
That's your driveway,
Yeah.
okay.
But you're correct, the road would be
All
like
right.
over here, yeah.
Okay.
So this distance is 30 feet, but obviously you gotta take 10 feet away from it. Because you can't build that close to your tank. or homes.
Well, okay, I'm gonna suggest we make this 5 foot variance here. 15 here, and you can go with this, you can go as far. You can go 50 feet in this direction.
Yeah,
Without needing another variance. Because they only have to be 20 feet from here. I mean,
Okay.
obviously, you don't want to be that close because
Yeah.
your neighbor's right there,
yeah,
but, I think that. I think that that's what I would prefer, because I think a 20 foot variance is a little, that's a little bit much.
I don't know, my opinion is the old house is 40 feet, that's why I was saying that, you know.
Yeah, I realize that. How deep was
It's
the older
28, I believe,
28
yeah.
years? Paul?
Just to recap here, my own brain. You wanna put a 5 foot variance, that would make that 70,
Right,
and here he can do whatever he wants,
right.
and then to the front,
He'd like a 20 and I'm,
no, that's no way.
okay. Then you'll
What were you suggesting here?
15. So he'd be 60 feet from the street. Instead of the 40 that the old one was. Okay. I think that's what we're gonna have to give you and see if we can make it work out.
Okay.
Okay, so we change this. We're gonna be 60 and 70, so 15 and a 5. Okay. All right, I will make a motion to grant 2 variances to 3 George Loomis. Oh, I'm sorry, did anyone else want to say anything about George Loomis Road? No,
I'm in favor of it.
you're in favor? That's your, who's that? Your-
It's my, daddy owns basically property, he's one of the abutters.
Okay, all right,
Actually, everyone that's sitting is in butter.
okay. All right, so I'll make a motion to grant 2 variances to 3 George Loomis Road. A 15 foot variance from George Loomis Road and a 5 foot variance from North Loomis Street. And that's the only thing you need, so, do I have a second?
No limitations on the house size.
No, he's gonna put in what he can fit. I think.
Pretty much, yeah. Cause I'm limiting them space between the
A
things.
second, Dan,
I feel like.
Yeah.
yes, Paul?
Yeah.
Yes, Chris, yes. So, there you go. We will write up the, decision, and then it goes to the clerk's office for 20 days. And then you can get started.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, Ben. Thanks for coming in.
What's the plan with that?
Pardon?
It's only signal for the-
Listen, look happy.
No.
It's all happy.
R40.
But
Have any? We have any remote guests, Dean? That person just dropped out that was there?
Yeah.
Right. I'm ready.
Oh, no.
You're all set?
Yeah.
Okay. Second public hearing tonight is a few minutes late, but it's a continuation of the public hearing for 2 Lakeland Street for a requesting a front and a rear setback variances. Pretty cool.
How you guys doing today?
Oh, well.
They're back, they're back.
I'm still back. Trying to mess you up.
Oh, geez.
Put them some next to each other. Mess them up.
All right, we're here today, I mean, requesting the variances, with everything that we discussed priorhand.
Okay,
I have some copies of it all, showing everything. Sorry. It has everything as discussed, the 12 feet off the side, 40 foot front, allowing the 2 stories, and we knocked the bay off the garage as well.
so you're 25 from the rear now. Or something? What we said.
In order to make the 40 from the front.
Okay. Yeah, and I just was gonna double check. That was 29. I thought it was 30 and 39 before.
The front porch is on there.
We have the front porch that the architecturals were showing.
Oh,
That was-
okay,
yeah.
I see what you're
I don't
saying.
think
All
we'll
right.
have less, yeah.
I thought the bump out was, but that's fine. Okay. Uh, the- Did you talk to the DPW?
Yes. Did you print that out or?
I don't have it, I printed receipt of it all,
That's fine.
I know we have the.
I just brought the estimate that I got from my contractor along with his email from Randy Brown,
Okay.
which is basically just saying, fill out the application and you're good.
Okay.
This is Randy's drawing, but I
That's
just,
the kind of thing we're talking about.
Okay, you need any of this back? Some.
no, I have copies of it.
You have.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm not gonna read it if you say he,
It's fine.
if you
It's,
say he approved it, then
yeah, it's
I agree with that. Okay,
unfortunately a lot more than we were planning, but it is.
okay. So you did, okay, so you got all your homework that you had. Um. I want to read something into the record. I got a phone call from the sister of the butter at number 10, asking for an explanation of what we were doing so that she could get familiar with it. So, I'll just paraphrase or just summarize my email exchange back and forth with her.
Sure.
She called me on the phone and asked just for a brief, written summary so that she could kind of figure out what was happening and just get familiar with it. So I wrote, I have attached a sketch that shows the latest dimensions discussed between the new owners and the Board of Appeals on July 8th. The proposed house is approximately 40 by 30 feet, including a 1-car garage. The house is 2-story and the garage is a 1-story. The garage will be closest to number 10. The house at number 10 is 3 feet from the side property line. The new house will be 12 feet from that property line for a total of 15 feet between the existing house at number 10 and the side of the garage. Then she wrote back that she had some concerns about having a driveway with vehicles coming in and out so close to the house that's at number 10, and requested that we consider moving the house over somewhat to alleviate any any problems with fumes or whatever coming in to the house that's so close over that. I wrote back, the sketch I sent you does not clearly show the location of the old house. It was on the dashed line that is 12 feet from the property line. That is what the board's condition for the placement of the new house is based on. I suggested that she go to the town map and shows the location of the old house. And when I did that for the second time, I noticed that based on the satellite image, the old house was closer than 12 feet.
Correct.
Yes.
No, not even close. Your picture shows right on your own zoning map right here how far that house was.
Yeah.
Look at, this is taken by your assessor right here. And those are 16-foot 4x4s right there on your Aegea's site. Look how far my house is from that house. You're not gonna tell me that's 12 or 16 feet. There's no way. You can blow it up, pull it up on your own site. It's your own,
Yeah.
your own assessor office took those pictures.
And
Way
so-
on.
I'm looking at the satellite.
Well, I'm looking at the picture that was posted by your assessor.
Well, I'm looking at the satellite image. It shows.
Th-
This is
So,
the,
what,
that-
Google?
yes.
How's
My
Google
family owned
anymore?
that property
For 100 years.
I'm the original last owner before they sold it to Mr. Gorillo, who sold it to these people,
Can I have your name, please?
Michael Tishy.
And address?
Currently staying at 10 and I'm part owner of 15 Lake Mud Street.
Okay,
So I am the last original owner, and I lived there for 30 years, and that house was 30 feet from his house.
sorry, that
Now-
can't be.
The picture, it shows it right
There's your
there.
picture right there. Show it to the board. Put it up on it's your own assessor's map. I don't know what you people are looking at, or you tried to sell him a bill of goods that this house was 17 feet from the property line? No way in hell. I could drive a Mack truck between his house and mine.
How do you explain the,
I can't explain that, but that's Google. That's not actual fact. That's Google. Your actual fact is in your assessor picture. And at this point, I was gonna save this for later, because apparently no matter what I'm gonna say or dispute any of your own ordinance laws are being disregarded. Do not take this out of that bag. That's asbestos. That's hazardous material all over that property,
take it easy.
all over it. That house was illegally taken down from the get-go and drawn out of there in dumpsters that your building inspector told him even it's asbestos.
Yeah,
And that he can't even just take that house down if he wanted to do anything. A wall had to be stayed because it's a non-conforming lot.
yeah,
So,
and
and
30
people
years
also
I
came
lived
in here
there.
saying that it was a one-car garage attached. This picture shows there isn't. Never was.
never.
So even on your rights to say, well, you can build, but you have to stay within that lot. If a wall was there, unless it got destroyed by fire or something like that, it wasn't. It was just torn down. And now the whole lot's full of, it's a hazardous, the whole site is hazardous material. So you're gonna build a house, you're approving all this with all this going on, that little Susie or little Johnny's gonna go out in that yard, drop her pinky, stick it back in her mouth with asbestos on.
Well, I appreciate your concern for the,
You know,
So-
and on
so
top of what you're doing, and you're gonna put that driveway, that where you're proposing, you don't wanna go by this picture, that tarp is roughly in front of that, you're gonna put the house back 10 feet, which means the car's gonna park there, and my window is right there. You're gonna pump exhaust fumes into my house. This guy had a conversation with my father years ago, and if you look at this pad in front of that house, it's moved over because the fumes were going in the house, fixing my dad, not a courtesy and respect. He moved over, didn't park there anymore.
Yeah, I moved the whole driveway. The whole driveway was moved. I cut down a tree that was 100 years old, put it down, and my own spouse moved it to be a good neighbor. His father lived there, the people lived there. This is why I'm trying to tell you people, I don't think you're understanding what's going on. That, first of all, how that house was torn down without the supervision it should have had is beyond me. How you're gonna tell me that you could put a house on what was 900 square feet and 400 of it was living space in what are they proposing? 1,400? What is there? How are you gonna stay within the footprint and do that?
On a
You're not-
non-conforming lot, on a non-conforming lot to begin with. You're
Yeah.
way overstepping your bounds.
Your own ordinance, your own bylaws say that it can't be done.
And
I'm sorry that these people bought a piece of property that.
has these problems and issues.
Now you're talking about a new construction. You're not talking about he left the walls, like I was told. As long as I lived there for 30 years, I wanted to make it different and knock some stuff, that I would have to leave some existing walls. So why is that being negated here? It should not be.
Yeah, and
And I
under
think
your
you
own,
guys are setting yourselves up for not only a lawsuit, but they have you under the impression that they're gonna use the town sewer. Well, who approved ripping up Lakemont Street? Cause you're talking 200 feet from my property up to Point Grove Road. There is no existing pipes down
100
that road.
It's 160 feet and we're paying for it.
160 feet is wrong, sir. I'll tell you right now, because my lot was 100 by 95 and a half. So just from the edge of my property up, the next door neighbor, Mr. Dewey, who lived there for years, helped put my grandfather build that house. His property, I cannot tell you exactly, but is at least that plus double. So you're talking 200 feet.
The
Close, but-
DPW director said it's 160 feet. So we have a lot of information here.
But
that-
who
that
approved,
conflicts
who
with-
approved Lakemont Street? I think that falls right out of this committee's
Bigger than
thing.
us.
You guys are gonna grant a variance and tell them, oh, you can dig up Lakemont Street? I believe that has to go in front of the select board.
DPW. said yes.
DPW said that they were gonna, that they.
And it was
agree to do
approved
it.
by the selectmen in
They
a
don't have
town
to-
meeting,
They,
and
they don't tell the DPW what to do with the streets.
the select board tells you guys what to do. Are you kidding me? They oversee all of you guys, so. You know, what, you guys are blowing a lot of
Yeah.
smoke.
and your special, and under your special permit, your section 3, 4, and 17 state about air quality and dangers to the public or there anybody else or the abutters. Now, even alone, you're approving all this in a garage that is attached to a non-conforming lot. They never had one. And it even also states in your ordinances, you can build, you're supposed to be in the print, and you're having to move it back and you're allowing attached garage. You're breaking that ordinance. And then with the air quality, you're shooting exhaust fumes into my house. And there's gonna be carbon dioxide detectors in there now because of this, and when that starts pinging off in the wintertime, because John Doe is got in his driveway brushing off snow and he's letting his car warm up for 20 minutes and my carbon dioxide detector is ringing off the wall, the fire department's gonna be there. Or I didn't know, my sister let you know, and I didn't know the time of the last meeting even, that I've been to the doctor on several occasions and I got the doctors there for breathing tests, and at July 10th, they alerted me to the fact that I have asthma.
You were at
Okay.
you were at the last meeting.
I wasn't notified by doctor until July 10th.
Now you're creating a health.
Now you're creating a deadly health hazard.
Well, I think you're getting.
No, I'm not.
You're
He had
getting
to
into
move the
fire.
driveway for my dad because the fumes go into the house. That's creating a deadly situation.
We
Plain and simple.
we have no jurisdiction over deadly situations.
Yes, you do. It says right in your ordinance about creating hazards or health hazards or air quality. And you're affecting the air quality on my property.
Take it-
Tremendous. Or anybody that's in that house. You're creating a health hazard. And then after this, you're still not addressing the fact that the whole property is full of asbestos.
Well, that's the health department.
No, that's gonna be your part, because you're allowing them just to go in there and build right now. Go ahead and play with it, open it then, play with it.
It's an
You're allowing
environmental- this is gonna-
That's a health hazard, that's DEP. You want me to call DEP tomorrow morning? I'll get DEP down there. I waited to bring it up to you guys
See-
first, to have
see,
you
the
guys
problem
address
here
the
is I was
situation.
told by your own
Okay.
inspector in a
You
certified letter.
should keep this over.
No, keep it, it's asbestos, it's yours, it's gonna be on you guys, there's more of it, there's tons of it all over that property.
Yeah, the property.
Not only
let
that,
it grow
but
up so you
draining into
can't
the
see it,
lakes.
but it's there.
Yeah, and it's been draining into the lakes for the last year, contaminating my property, the back property.
Let's stick to dimensions here.
Well, you're being alerted of a toxic
Well, then you should,
environmental.
you should come here tomorrow and go to the health.
No,
department.
here's your
Right-
pieces
right
that
down-
you should be
right down the hall.
stopping all this until that's been rectified.
Well, answer me this, sir.
No,
How was
No.
I told over the last
Wow.
30 years, if I wanted to improve on the house, I
you
would
guys
have
got
to
duped by
leave,
Frank.
how I would
He's
have
gonna
to
come back and
leave
fight it.
an existing structure.
Did
You
you,
should speak
did
to
you
me
come
under the
before the
law.
Board of Appeals?
I went to everybody to ask if I could do it first, and I was told no. And I was told by your own Mr. Kyle Scott, who claims he's the commissioner of there, that if I rip down my porch, which was the complaint that was put against my house because it was falling in, I would have to have special permits, special things for the asbestos to be put in and cleaned up. Yeah, Frank was allowed to go in there with a regular Bobcat and excavator and put it in open dumpsters and take it down the road.
It's a hazardous site.
When was that building taken down?
It's been over a year. See, this is another thing in your own bylaws.
When was it taken down?
About a week
It
after
was a
May
week
9th.
after I sold it, and I sold it in a little before June.
May 9th.
June
Yeah.
of this year?
No,
Last year, a year
last
over a
year.
year ago.
So you had a lot of time to bring up these.
I couldn't put it in my head. I tried to bring it up the last time about the way the house was taken down and the materials and the hazardous conditions that existed. I knew the pieces were on the ground, but I just didn't connect it to represent it or to bring you pieces at that point. It just all came more to me in the last week, looking up ordinances and what's being proposed on this house that's being shoved down my throat.
So,
Not to mention-
Otherwise, if you didn't come to this point, you people would originally just said, well, I'm gonna stick to the 16 feet like we talked about. None of this would ever been brought it up, so it's probably a good thing that you did what you did. Now this has been made apparent before you build that house and people own it and something happens because the whole yard is full of asbestos.
It was back dragged, it's in the soil now. That's all gonna have to be tested. Now you're talking about an environment, you're talking about well, I don't know how you could grant a variance then for something to be built that shouldn't. Number one, should have never been able to be granted or built on. It's a non-conforming lot that was taken down, not by fire, not by, they say by a man who just decided he was gonna do what he wanted to do. With no permits or special, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, but you know, you get a little heated because I got pushed out of that house and now you're trying to do the same thing to him. You're trying to build a giant house right on top of this property with detrimental to his health. Without anybody thinking about it.
if that house was closer to his house than what we're looking at here.
No,
No, my
No,
house was
it's
further
further.
away. I
look
don't
at
know
the
what
picture on
the-
your own assessor site.
Relax.
Show it to him.
The plan we're showing is having a house being 2 feet farther than the existing.
This is the picture from
Pre-existing
from
No,
your
it's not.
assessor.
That what you're showing.
That's on
then,
your
You're
assessor.
so full of
Look
it,
how
just
far
like
that
you're
house
full
is
of
from
it
those bushes.
about there was a
This-
garage
All
in
right,
that.
all right.
And those 4x4s are 16
Side
feet
yard
long
setbacks
laying
are
there.
10
If you
10
look at it, you
feet
could
for
turn
the
it
zoning
sideways. It's
ordinance,
not
we're
even
gonna
gonna
be
touch the
12 feet
bushes.
off that, we're expanding.
That house was at least
Yeah,
30
you're
feet from
telling
my
me what
house.
you think, but you,
I,
on your
how can you
last Zoom
say
meeting-
that?
Because of this picture proves it,
When he
because
told
I
me-
know
you
I lived
told
there,
this
he lived there
committee
for 100 years.
Here,
All right,
that there was a
all right.
one-car garage and there never
The
was.
picture's more, there's 1,000 words over any drawings.
Okay,
Here,
Yeah, look at that picture. And those are 16 foot, if he's showing you the one,
yeah,
those are 16 foot boards. Those are 16 foot 4x4s
I got it right
in
there.
between the house.
To the front corner probably, but then the house steps back, right?
to the side periods that you're trying to push to within 12 feet. That house, the side of that house was at least 30 feet from my house.
It's still within. the-
And then the next house after me, next to me is the same way. That house is built right on my property line and my dad had it surveyed. Their stairs are actually on my property, but the house was built 30 feet from my house. And then the house next to that house, that's 30 feet away also. So all these buildings are built within 30 feet of each other down that road, not 16 feet. All of them, not just mine.
So that one's your house.
We wanted.
That one's your house.
Yes.
All right.
Huh?
When we pushed it back, then we had to
Yes.
push it over.
Yeah, we were gonna center it up,
Well, that's okay.
but
Yeah,
we
there
went
you
off the board's recommendation. But their house, their existing house is
So
practically on the
this,
property
those
line.
bushes and those boards,
If his house
you're
was
saying
leaking
that
like
this
that,
wall is
then
only
the board
16 feet from them bushes, and
with
that's a
this
lot
house.
further than that.
Not ours.
That-
It's not a zoning
So that's on my
problem,
problem.
that's for sure.
You have room for a tree.
Bushes, they're shrubs.
Just talking dimensions today.
No, that's a chimney.
Ah, okay, it's not part of the tree. Okay.
That's a chimney. And about 3 feet, or I say it's 5 feet, but I'm being told it's 3 feet, but it's like 5 feet. But from this house, from there to those bushes, you're trying to tell me 16 feet. That's a lot further
I'm
than
not trying
16
to tell
feet.
you anything.
Well, I know. Well, this is what these guys are trying to tell me.
Right, right.
And that house is further away from them bushes than 16 feet from the edge of the property. Now you're trying to go to 12 feet, and put a garage.
Whoops, that's all right.
I mean, that's, how does that work? And that puts the exhaust, puts a driveway within 15 feet of my windows, pumping exhaust fumes into my house.
This is the old,
That's wrong.
this is the old house at Two Lakemont. This is Eugene's house here. This is the wall here. So the old,
Yeah,
according to this picture, the old house was as close to this property line as his
that's what
house
it
is
looks
to
like.
that
That
property.
part.
It's not even close.
Oh, because my
If-
driveway is so
far
far.
out.
If his is 3 feet,
You're so
right?
far.
We're not asking for side yard variances today.
Yes, you are. You're going down to 12 feet from what you're trying to even say your drawing is 6.
Requirement is only 10.
Bylaw says 10.
Whatever it says, this guy's saying he's not going off the print and asking for variances. He is to what the house was, which is
Not
on
for
a
a side yard.
non-conforming lot to begin with. So you're going down to 12 feet and trying to add a garage that it never had on a non-conforming lot. And your own bylaws say that you can't add an attachment, even if it does get allowed to rebuild. You can't add a garage and you can't do all these things like that. You're not even close.
You won't take a seat and let us talk about this a little bit. You gentlemen back there, do you have any input on any of this?
No, Mr. Chairman, we're here just as observers.
We're here, what?
Observers.
Okay.
Oh,
And
and
for the show.
my sister would have been on the thing, but her internet up in Maine is out. She's been out since Friday.
Photo just showing us was that wasn't showing this.
Right.
But his,
Take it from here, so you couldn't.
that photo shows that. That photo is showing this jet out here.
Right, yeah. Right.
So and I was looking at the same thing, so I don't know if that. What this was, or if it was torn down. This photo
like
is
that.
represented the dash line.
Mhm.
See the jet out there. So what I'm thinking is, where the photo was taken from me, looking at this corner, I don't know if you can see this.
You couldn't see it.
Right.
Just take-
Cause that's a
take
door
on this
to
angle.
get in.
Yeah,
That's the door that's on the right side of the house, right? To get in, the old door at the original house.
It's right here. There's the picture of it right there. The picture says 1,000
Yeah,
words.
and then there's a side door over here that goes in the house.
Not this way, no.
Yeah,
That's a
We
wall.
have the satellite
That's just-
aerial
door
as
here.
well as
This-
GIS information showing.
There was
The only
30
side
feet
door that
between my
house
house.
was to the side you're trying to preserve.
As well as a stamp
For the
plate.
yard.
That's the only other door that was in that house ever. Because like I say, if originally, if you go back, the front of what they're saying is my house was a porch that was closed in the 50s. It wasn't even living space.
So that was a porch sticking out here.
That's right, in the front. The actual house is where you see the peak of that thing, that's the original house and the original thing. That's why it went down to 400 square feet, but the town was charging me on 900 because they were charging me because that got enclosed, even though it was a porch. That's why I'm saying,
That doesn't change
I
anything.
think we're
And
bringing a
this-
lot of
And when you're-
old
when you're
information
looking
into
at this picture,
the discussion
Trying
here.
to say to add that garage. you
It
see
doesn't
that tar-
belong in
This,
this.
you're saying this is gonna be even closer, it's gonna be about to the edge of there, and then the garage.
Well, I'd like to know
You're gonna
about-
move the house back, so that car is gonna be parked.
after a house
So
is
feet of them pushes with
totally
exhaust
demolished,
fans right
if
in my
it's not
house,
by
which they
fire
blew
or
in.
net,
We had to
your
move. This is why.
your old bylaws
This is way
say
over
that
here,
a special
Cause he did
permit
used to
should have
park
been
over here
pulled.
and the fumes. go
Where's
into
that
the
permit?
house.
Where
They just
is their 1 year? And it says within 1 year. It's well with over the year since that house was knocked down. That house was knocked down 7 days after I sold it. With no supervision at all.
No
By the
plans
town.
filed, because if they were, there wouldn't be asbestos all over the ground.
So that's what I'm saying. There's a whole lot of can of worms being opened up here. And
Although those cans of worms are outside of this, are outside. of-
Yeah, but-
this-
Because
this
they're
building.
aware, and you're gonna approve it to say, go ahead and do it.
No, but wait a minute,
Without
sir.
these things
I
figured out.
understand what you're saying, but one thing, they're leading you to believe that they're coming right out of 2 Lakemont Street and tying in. Who's approving Lakemont Street being torn up? You're saying that the
DPW just,
who's paying for that?
I am.
he is.
$30,000.
$30,000 to dig up 200 feet of this, of the state road.
Yes.
160.
160 feet, Bill.
Well, I would have thought there'd have to be a special town meeting for that,
No,
but I think this may
Okay,
have.
or even that part, okay, so the second.
Any road that hasn't been paved in 5 years can be dug up.
But as far as putting driveways next to my house, shooting exhaust fumes and creating hazardous conditions and deadly conditions for my house.
This might be something that's more suited to go in front of the select board than.
Absolutely, you got
They-
hazardous materials on the property that you're approving, just go ahead and build and sell it to the public, and now that you've been made aware. And you're gonna approve this?
First, throw it to the other side,
We're-
12 feet.
We're discussing dimensions here. If you want to dispute it with the health department, with the DPW, with the select board,
Send it
that-
all to the other side.
that is.
Oh, once I hear you're gonna decide, you people decide in the next few minutes, go ahead and approve these plans. With asbestos that you've been made aware, instead of saying to these individuals that, listen, that property's gotta get checked and inspected before they'd be allowed to build anything on it.
Yeah, that's what makes no sense here.
Well, it's possible that we might be proven wrong if that's what happens, but
It
that's,
is.
that's
Here's
something.
the evidence in that bag. I didn't pull that out of my ass.
You gotta call the state about that. We have no control of that.
You have control over deciding to
We
build
do
on
not.
that lot.
We do
You've been
not have
made
control
aware.
over that.
It's not buried. You don't have to go digging for it. Stand in the street and look down.
I
It's
still
been
have
drained
no
into
control
Conneaut
over it.
Lakes. It's been.
Board of
polluted my
Health-
Property.
Board of Health and the state,
That's your business now. You've been made aware, and you're the
It's not our
Board of
business.
Appeals that
Sorry.
since you've been made aware of this situation, to go ahead and allow these people to do that. You're disregarding, I'm talking, but never mind. the
We're not
asbestos
allowing them to do
consideration.
anything. We're just saying that they would have to put it here. That's it. It's up to the building inspector to say, go ahead and build it or not. It's up to the.
Well, wait a minute though.
Yes, you
Now,
are.
this is the same building inspector who told me that it would have to be put in special containers, Mr. Kyle Scott. But yet he allowed Frank Gorillo to knock it down and drag it away without.
Well, that,
If he's the one that told you that,
if he's the one, then you have a beef with him, not,
Well,
Not us.
regardless, the property's laden with asbestos, and you're gonna allow it to be built on without it even being
No.
checked out.
no, that's not what we're saying. We're saying that we will,
Okay, then you're approving a garage that, again, according to your bylaws,
Non-conforming.
a non-conforming lot, an attachment that never was there.
a garage has nothing to do with non-conformance.
Yes, it does on the building that was there. It says right in your own
Yeah, but-
ordinances, you can't add attachments if the house is gonna be rebuilt. Which it also states about
The house
In-
isn't being rebuilt.
that, well,
Of course it
yes,
is.
it is. There's
Of
no
course it
house
is.
on there. There's no,
There's-
house. How are you saying it's not being rebuilt? There's no
All right.
house.
What is he using from the existing house that he's rebuilding? I mean, this.
Nothing.
This is, no.
No, because
This
they
is-
let him,
This is a new build.
Yeah,
yes, a
So
brand
this is a
new,
new build.
which brings you
I think their
into,
issue
new
is the side
construction.
setback.
Which we're not here
We are
for.
not impeding him at all.
Correct. And
As
we,
for the asbestos, that's not our department. We're here to deal with the dimensions.
yeah, but your own
Put something
bylaw,
for us.
your own bylaws say that you can't build a new construction if there was no special permit pulled within 1 year.
Well-
Where's that permit? Where's that even for you guys to consider giving them a variance? Where is that permit?
special
signed?
permits come from the planning board, not from us.
You're the, you're very,
No, we're the Board of Appeals.
okay.
We deal with the dimensions of
Okay,
where,
but why did you hear something that shouldn't even be able to be?
because we disagree with your opinions.
Well, my opinion, it's in your own bylaws.
What,
and the same.
Your
thing with
own
the- the non-conforming
where-
uses and
what-
structures
you
of
have the-
material-
you have the section,
No,
I'll-
your structure shall
you
be
have the section, I'll look it up.
And large nor reconstructed, right in your own, right in your own ordinance, right there.
What's the
Except
chapter
that
and
any
section?
Part of the bill, which the time of adoption, chapter,
Read the chapter.
What's the chapter?
chap, 185-28A1. And then A, B, and C.
Mm-hmm. 185 what?
185-28.
No, suggest anything now. No, you can delete all the time.
You have another one of these. Might be worth it.
We got 1A, G, and C.
This one.
We beat that year.
I think this, right?
No, we might have played. That's what got us here.
Oh, yeah.
This seems to me.
Pretty sure the 1 year ago he's talking about lets you rebuild without any special.
Not building out an empty lot.
Right. You also don't need to leave a wall up.
No.
That's all permit, old rules. Let's see,
Regardless, we're improving on existing conditions.
Right.
just,
Right, change.
just not in their opinion.
In
their
existing-
opinion,
Right.
Change is not being extended.
We're not even here for a side yard variance at all, so.
Building, because there is no building.
There's no building there when you bought it, right?
Correct. Yeah, before we buy it, there's. You know,
Just empty lot.
yeah,
In case of a fire, that's destroyed by fire explosion or catastrophe.
So this was an empty lot at purchase.
I don't get that. I don't think so.
retry on that fence.
Who's they?
If you break the garage and put it 12 feet off the other side. Yeah.
Special permit, then you need special permit.
Was thinking that myself. when I was-
And then it's all backyard on the other for people. Like,
Did you guys talk to the
Biggest
planning
holes.
board at all?
Not to the best of my knowledge.
so, yeah,
Goes through
the
ZBA.
hippie guy,
Who?
the hippie guy.
Oh, John?
Yeah.
John,
Oh, good,
yeah. Did you have a conversation with him
Yep.
about, and what did he say?
He didn't seem to have any issue with anything.
Okay.
So
Nice to work with us.
I forgot about that.
I just told him I had a print, actually, which when I was pulling the permit and went across the hall, talked to him, showed him that setup, same
Mhm.
footprint. He said he didn't see any problem with that.
Okay.
He thought we weren't even gonna have to,
The planning board. It's-
right,
it's the-
Board, planning
Coordinator,
coordinator.
so.
coordinator, yeah.
Well, it says here, because I'm reading, I'm only reading part of it, the planning board has to issue a special permit, right?
Planning board.
Planning board.
Yeah, there's nothing to us.
So you might have to talk to John again about getting a special permit, see what he says.
And then it has nothing to do with this.
That's completely separate.
Saying we're still gonna need that, even if you guys approve this. Even if say you approve this, then we still need to go.
I'm not sure how it works exactly.
Well, if a special permit is needed, you'd have to see him somewhere.
I would assume
They're
The
good,
per-
they would bring it up
at the building
Immediately.
permit
at the planning board would bring it up if that's needed for them.
to approve the building permit. You know, he can't approve the building,
If
which
there's
I
a special
get.
permit needed. As of that.
So we can square that up tomorrow.
That's what the Conservation Commission does as well.
Either way, it's separate from her issues.
Right, we gotta have,
It's
yeah, we gotta have this approved. And, yeah,
Yeah, we're not gonna put a shovel on the ground until we have a proof permit and allow,
we could put a rake across the ground if that makes people happy. Clean it up. We've been,
Planning board.
I think we've mowed it once or twice.
Approving the build. We're just approving the setbacks, the variances.
Dimensions
That's all.
only. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, and what you're
And the
trying
only
to
thing
do
that's-
is you got your 185 9.1 major development review, right in the middle of the paragraph says, such a review will enable the planning board and community to make early assessment of said proposals, including any impacts to town resources and services, traffic, the environment, and abutting property.
They'll take care of that at the planning board meeting.
You know, there's a lot of things here to be
That's,
considered.
that,
Taking that to their board, they want to send it, now you gotta find this way.
no, it specifically said the planning board. This is Board of Appeals. We deal with dimensions and that's it.
Well, how it got this far though is beyond me.
This is the start.
There's a lot more that's not being considered.
This is just step one for us.
And
It might be for you, but
it's my life and my health.
yeah, and
There's a
what
lot
was
of
done
things
with
that
that
we know about
property.
and on that property, exactly. You're gonna build a house, you're opening yourself for a lawsuit with all the asbestos on the ground itself for a new owner.
So this.
So
not
if you
our
guys wanna
part.
consider
So
all that,
we
that's
vote
up
on
to
the
you.
dimensions.
But this committee's been made aware that that's on.
Planning
it, so
board
You're gonna
has
be
to
trying
do
to
special
approve to go
permits
ahead and
and
build on
whatever's
the site.
needed.
that you
We're not
found.
approving
health
anything
department.
except dimensions.
But you've been made aware that this is done, so.
We are aware of that.
Okay.
I suggest that we rule on the dimensions of this and let the other boards deal with the asbestos, the special permits.
Right.
As you said, this is your step one. And I know the other boards typically won't review something unless we have reviewed it.
This is always the first step to it all.
So, I'm prepared to make a motion to,
So the only thing that we're doing is the front setback. The front
front and
variance
rear.
and the rear. Sorry, yes.
Not the side.
Front.
That is, like, you're putting a garage, an attachment that is going on the side, it's moving it closer to the property.
Yeah, the front and rear.
25 feet, you're there.
That would be
35.
35 in front and 25 in back.
Okay.
No, 15 in back.
15 in the back, okay. And, side yard 12 is more than 10, obviously.
Okay.
10.
They're not telling us we can build. I'm not trying to be rude either. They're not trying to tell us that we can build.
But even
They're
then,
not giving me
I wouldn't even have thought to even bring this all up, I'm
I get
almost
it.
glad I did, because it'd be.
If the property is dirty, we're gonna clean it
Yeah,
up.
and but even to put the garage that close to my house, my dad was there, he did have to move the
I get
car,
that.
they're gonna pump the exhaust right into my house.
But they're not giving us an approval beyond what they already say. The 10 is the minimum. They're not approving anything
How
different.
you keep saying that the original house was.
I'm not talking about the original house.
Doesn't even
I'm
matter.
talking about a new build.
It does matter, the original house
I'm-
does
Yeah,
matter
under
because-
non-conforming lots, I mean,
It's
these
a-
ordinances specifically state about being in the print, and not adding.
I was just trying to have a conversation.
I know, I get what
Yeah.
you're saying, but you're not.
Yeah.
You didn't do your, when you
I mean,
won
there's
that.
probably
property,
nothing
you
we
didn't
do.
We would make that a
I
condition,
did, because this is step one.
correct?
All I'm saying is that
Condition
the
that
town,
has to
before I
be
came here,
12
the
feet
town
from this property.
setbacks for the side yard is 10 feet.
Okay,
We're gonna be 12.
Yeah.
That, I'm not talking about your existing
The
previous.
costumes where it says in these ordinances about air.
Look, I got a question.
Yes.
You're totally disregarding that.
Go over the garage.
Those are
No.
ordinances.
Garage is.
Correct.
Okay.
On the house, the peak is left to right, and on the garage, it's front to back.
Front to back.
And you're putting a porch in front.
Yeah, just a little 4 foot, it's just, it gives it that farmhouse look.
That's what everyone wants. Is that?
So you don't want to consider doing anything that way.
No,
Look, just,
I
we
don't
already
think,
pushed them off of that.
Yeah.
just commenting.
all right, I'm gonna make a motion to grant 4-dimensional variances for 2 Lakemont Street. A lot area variance of 31,750 square feet. A lot frontage variance of 67.5 feet. A front setback variance of 35 feet. And a rear setback variance of 15 feet. One condition would be that the garage needs to be 12 feet from the eastern property line, which is where the old house was measured to be. Anyone wants to make a second?
So that's a 12-foot minimum.
12-foot minimum, yeah. Second, and second, we have a second, Dan, you vote,
I agree.
yes. Dan votes yes, Paul votes yes, and Chris votes yes, the dimensional variances are approved, they'll be contingent on the other boards reviewing the other concerns that have been brought up at this meeting, the planning board, health department, DPW, and et cetera, et cetera. It's a long process and we just the step one, so it's proved. We'll write up the decision and it'll be in the clerk's department for 20 days, and then you can move on to the next of your many steps that you have to do.
Thank you.
Right now it's made out to what, MHI property?
Yes, correct.
And is that where you want
Yes. You have the address for that or no?
it? Let me just make sure. Oh, no, I just have 2 Wigmar Street.
No, 11.
11.
Is it on there, Herbert?
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much, guys.
Any new
So I have fun with all the boards.
Gonna try. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
any pending business?
No.
No, there's no pending business.
Signs.
I've got to sign some.
Sell out down south.
First, these are the 3 for this variance and then the front pages that I need to sign. And 3 of the 3 signatures.
You need to leave this on while this sign.
No,
No, meeting's over.
do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to
Motion to
adjourn.
adjourn, I second the motion. Everyone in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.